what are the kind of founders who nail it with the board in this day and age of AI and data modes?
It's a great question. I would say the founders that end up, being on a board is sort of interesting because you have board meetings. They typically take place once a quarter, right? However, if I, as a board member, interacted with my founder once a quarter, I'm massively failing in my job, right? Yeah. And so we ideate on things sometimes on a daily basis. We text each other all the time. We have multiple brainstorming calls.
I should give you credit for that. I think a lot of board members don't do that.
Okay. Yes, that's true. We really, I truly pride myself on wanting to be the first call for a founder, not when things go well, but when they're struggling with something, when there's something that goes wrong, or you might need to pivot, right? Yeah. Because we ultimately back teams. Markets, you can try to predict them as much as you can, but sometimes they're hit or misses, right? But if you bet on the right team, they can pivot, learn, adapt, have that resilience, and then we should be there for them during that highly adaptable change stage, right? So that I do with founders. But the biggest thing that I see between the founders who are super successful and the founders who aren't is the founder that comes in very humble from day one and has this sort of, I feel like growth mindset is almost an overused word at this point, but has that sort of intellectual curiosity where they know that they don't know everything. Yeah. So they want to surround themselves actively by experts, and they have this voracious appetite to learn, voracious appetite to adapt, mold themselves, and change, right? So that, I think, is a trait that, in my mind, over time, my own pattern recognition, it differentiates some of the best founders from the founders who are good but just don't have such a type of outcome. Right.
So Priya, what are the top 3 things you look for when you work with a founder at Turing? As in, you have acquired the founder in your portfolio. What were those founders like, or what are those founders like?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say this sort of intellectual curiosity.
And how do you know that?
It's such a great question because back when I was at Mayfield, actually, this is where I got inspired. So the Mayfield team is incredible in that they've been people first from day one, but Mayfield has actually a people x-ray that they've created over time.
That's interesting.
It's hilarious. Yeah, absolutely. So it's this people x-ray where when you meet a founder, you sort of dive into their psyche and how they think and what motivates them and who they are as a human behind the idea that they're fundraising for. Right? Yeah. And that sort of was a different way of thinking. Prior to Mayfield, I hadn't seen that. I would focus on TAM, on market, on business model, technology, all those things, right? Yeah. But really, 9 times out of 10, it comes to the people at the end of the day, regardless of stage, whether you're an early stage investor, growth stage, it's the same, right? Yeah. And so I'd say that people x-ray part of it is fascinating because you ask and learn. It's sort of similar to the questions you're asking about me, but how did they grow up? Has there been moments of adversity that they've had over time? What did they do in those moments of adversity? How did they adapt? Were they resilient? And what's the North Star that's actually driving them? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I have interviewed a lot of visionaries, and the North Star description really gives it away. Some people are envisioning the Gartner quadrant, new quadrant, a new field when they are talking about the North Star. And they say, I'm such a small person, that's where I want to be. So then you know that this person has thought through things, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a whole host of questions, but that's why building that relationship with the founder is so critical for us. And and it's a two-sided thing. They should ask me the exact same questions, right? Because that board member-founder relationship apparently lasts more than the average marriage in the U.S. So you want to make sure that you're getting into a good, healthy, long-term partnership.